Okay, thank you for joining Ask Me Anything with the Data Career Mentors. So actually before we start, and I just wondering like where everyone come from. So for me, my name is Adam. I'm program manager for data scientist course, and I would like to know like are you from Canada? Are you from United States? And are you currently a data specialist, or you are new to the industry? Because today's our focus will be for the beginner who are new to this industry or who need some support for like from our mentor to get a job offer as a data scientist, data analyst, or data engineer. Okay, so if you are from different industry, let us know which industry come from, and if you're already in the industry, please share some insight like some feedback, and we are happy to understand that. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to put a message in the chat, and our mentor gonna help you answer that questions. Great. So we have we have someone from United States. Yeah, we have Pranav from New York, United States, and recently graduated in master in data scientist from NGIT. Awesome. And also we have participate from Niagara Falls, Ontario, and just get into this industry. 90% finish the Google Data Analytics course, and I'm current job hunting at the moment. And we have another Michael is from California, and Luis from Toronto. Awesome. Okay, so I think most of our like audience is from North America. Okay, so before we get started, and I just want to quick promote our bootcamp. So we have data scientist bootcamp, and for the upcoming we have May 6th, 2024, and June 25 for the full-time and part-time. And if you want to become data scientist, and please learn our website. We are WeCloudData, and we are a little bit different compared with traditional way to learn. So first of all, you're gonna join the bootcamp for the learning. That's most of the people gonna do is join the bootcamp, do the self-learning, or join the master. And also the different will be start from the client project. So we do offer something like it's hard to find on this industry. Like we offer some like client projects for you to work with, and also we provide mentorship, and also we will have special guests and a very experienced, very knowledge, and we'll share you the like more details about our mentorship, and also in the last step we will learn the job offer. Okay, so for the part-time, there will be 6 months bootcamp trainings, and you will have some portfolio projects complete. And also after that, and you will join the client projects. And also at this time, our mentor will help you to prepare for the interviews. Okay? And there will be full-time, for the full-time will be 3 months. It's more like a Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So that's the full time, and you will learn data fundamental, data scientist, and also machine learning and big data. So the client project is very important to give you some experience, and also we will provide reference check. And if you don't have relevant experience, or you don't have a company able to give you some like a reference check, so client project will offer all this this package to you. Okay, so and also one-on-one mentorship. Part-time will be 6 months. Everything will be exactly the same, except there will be part-time, like every Tuesday, Thursday, there will be a evening lecture from 7:30 to 10:30 p.m. And you will receive one-on-one mentors, but real client projects is optional. Okay, and so the difference is because the way we help students to get experience. So 91% like our student graduate from the bootcamp, 5% is ungraduate. The employment rate is 90.90%, and employments in the data fields which means once you graduate and become a data specialist, is a 91%, and so we are like a very stand out compared with like other program or other like boot camps. Okay, so let me just move on to the very important part for today. So we have panelists. We have Leno Masu, and who is a data scientist manager. I'm so excited to have him here today. Leno, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, I think. Sorry, let me just read a little more like chat, so we do have more participation there from. And after I finish that, and I will do my lecture. You can share the screen and show your slides. Yeah, so there are a few messages from the audience. There will be some of audience are. I think there are some questions. I mean, they definitely have some question for you. So let me just read some of that. So and currently we have one audience from Vancouver, BC, and who is a job seeker at data scientist with LinkedIn, and also we have another currently starting cloud computing and have experience of 4 years in business intelligence, and I have master in data scientist and been working for years. Currently looking for a similar position US. And also we have bachelor degree in the computer engineering, also enrolled to the data scientist bootcamp, currently seeking for jobs. Okay, great. So yeah, I will hand over to Leno. I believe there are lots of questions for you tonight. Okay, let's stop sharing. And
can I share my screen? Oh. Hi guys. It's a good evening, everyone, and depending on where you live, good afternoon as well. Good night. Yeah, it's a privilege to meet all of you guys, and it's really nice to see a lot of young guys, future data scientists. Yeah, to be honest, I was also on the other side. I started my journey with WeCloud when I was trying to find job in data science, and I spoke to Eric, and he helped me guide. He told me the right way how to approach the job market, how to find a data science job, how to give good answers in interviews. So yeah, I started as a data analyst, and then right now I'm working as a data science manager in a CPG company called HUL. So a bit about me. I have 10 years of experience in different roles. So before working in data science, I was a business analyst. I worked in research and consulting. Right now in my current role, I work closely with revenue growth management. So I focus more on how to find different ways to improve our revenue and how to make our company more focused towards data-driven decisions, like how to make sure that like we are analyzing the business performance correctly, how we are analyzing our product performance, and I will come to that later. And also passionate about mentoring data science people who are interested in data science, how and like because this is also an opportunity for me to learn from people. It's just not me teaching someone, but a lot of the times I feel it's a give and take relationship, right? Because data science is a very dynamic field. A lot of new technologies are coming all the time, and not only the technical part of it, but also there's a domain knowledge part of it. So although I may be good at data analysis, but then I also need to know a lot about the industry that I'm working in, how CPG operates. So before this, I was working in a gaming company, which was a totally different like industry from my background in research and consulting. So yeah, so it's really important for you to adapt and evolve, because that's the bare minimum requirement if you are in data science. So I worked in a lot of because I was in a research and consulting kind of roles. I got to work with a lot of these industries, non-profit, pharma, oil and gas. Yeah, so That's it. And about my educational background, I have bachelor's in chemical engineering. I did an MBA in finance and followed it with a diploma in data science. As a business analyst, I worked in market research. I was in strategy consulting. Worked with a lot of Fortune 500 companies, how to helping them to improve their processes, and did a lot, and also worked on risk analysis and BI. After doing a career transition to data science, I'm in my current role, as I said, like I'm working in product performance, sales forecasting, promo optimization, how promotions work, how they will improve our sales, and how promotions affect our pricing. And yeah, if we take a price increase, how it's going to change sales. And apart from that, like general data science skills include good knowledge of Python, SQL, R, machine learning, and all these technologies. So next slide. So about my WeCloud data mentorship journey, as I told earlier, that before being a mentor, I was a mentee here. I was working closely with Eric, and Eric, who was my mentor, and he helped me to land my first job in data science. And from there, like because I had such a good experience, and I also got to learn a lot about what are the problems or challenges that are faced by a newcomer who wants to enter into data science. Some people don't even have any background of data science. They don't know much about Python, SQL, or any of the technologies. I help even those kind of people how to land jobs. So it was a good, as I said, like it's a good learning opportunity to see the people from different background. They are interested in data science and how I can help them to land their job. Also, it's one of the things that I like about my position, my role as a mentor is empowering the next generation. Telling them how, how to find a job in data science, how to think critically, how to analyze different problems, how to how to improve their data science skills, and helping them to eventually land their dream job. And I also feel very happy when I see my mentee succeeding. Another thing is nurturing critical thinking skills, which is for data scientists, it's very important to think very critically about different problems, not just having theoretical knowledge, but also working on problems from a different perspective. Just don't look at solutions right away, but start thinking about problem and how will you approach this problem without the help of other people, and slowly come up with different, and slowly start to think of from the problem from the multiple dimensions, so that you can come with a good solution. It's a very good exercise that I do with my mentees, and it's also helped me to look at problems in a different perspective when even on my professional work. Next is real world applications. As I said, a lot of times people know good amount of theory, but when it comes to end-to-end projects, a lot of people are not confident. And somewhat that I noticed is a lot of people, they know good amount of SQL, but then when it comes to applying SQL knowledge to solve problems or find solutions, people are not that confident, or even Python. So I asked my mentees to work on projects where they can work on end-to-end problems, and they can discuss this in front of the interviewer, how in a situation action result kind of format, where they give the context of the problem, and sort of tell them what were the steps that they followed to solve the problem and what was the result or recommendations. So this kind of gives the interviewers a good idea about how you tackle problem in real life. So this shows that you are a complete package. You don't need hand holding. You are kind of independent. You will manage on your own, which is a very important skill that most employer looks. And again, a continuous learning. As I told earlier, data science is a very evolving field. It's like, you are riding the tide. So or riding the wave. So make sure that like it's very important to be abreast with the latest technologies, what are happening in AI, especially with like, with GPT, chat GPT and all this kind of AI assistance. It is very important for you to be on top of the curve, so that like, or you come up the learning curve very quickly. Otherwise, you would lag behind a lot, and it's not a very good scenario. One thing is, let's say, finding a job, but then second thing is keeping the job. So it's very important to make sure that you are not only good at giving interviews, but also you are very sound professionally. And I one of the things that I provide to my mentees, or WeCloud provides to all the mentees, is a support network. So it's not like a one-time partnership, like once you land a job, that's done. But then a lot of my mentees, I still speak to them, even when I was transitioning from my role, and I was interviewing for the data science manager role. My mentor helped me a lot to prepare well for that interview, and how to approach the difficult questions, like transitioning from data analyst to a data science manager role. So yeah, it's a very good support network that WeCloud provided me. So yeah, so while I was working as a mentor, I was also a mentee at the same time. So usually this is the kind of roadmap that I follow for all my mentees. First thing is making sure that I understand where they're coming from, what is their background, and which kind of helps me to prepare, and help me to prepare the resume first, understand their motivation, why they're interested in data science, and what are their hopes and aspirations in working with this field. So based on that, I help them to focus on their job search, which places to look for finding jobs, and how to find jobs, how to network on LinkedIn, how to find the right people there, how to talk to them, how to get into get information interviews. Also, I once the resume part is done, I also focus on interview scripting, which is again very important. Sometimes it's a relative data science, although a lot of work has been done. It's a relatively new field, so there are not many interviewers who are also very like, let's say, like if you are focused, like if you get an interview call from, let's say, a non-traditional or non-tech company, most people who would be interviewing you would be from non-tech backgrounds. So it's very important to have a good interview script with you, so that like you can drive the interview. You can proactively tell how much you know about the field, how you can help the company to succeed, what kind of solution, like what kind of value that you are bringing. So interview scripting is a big part of preparation. And also, yeah, of course, like a lot of practice also goes after that, to make sure that you come across as very confident in the interview. And yeah, at the end, I also help my mentees to negotiate good offers. A lot of my mentees got a good bump in their salary after I gave them good points, which they went back to the HR and started negotiating. So there are a lot of very positive impacts that I saw from my mentorship in my life as well as my mentees' life. So uh, I, I I have seen that my mentees, it's like inspire. When I see that, I somehow inspire my mentees to look at data not just as numbers, but as a story, that good stories to tell, that it's that it's not about X going up 10%, Y going down 9% or 5%, but telling how it will impact other parts of, why it is happening, what's the impact, how this is going to impact other segments of the business. So looking at data holistically, that's why I make sure that my mentees understand the domain part or the business knowledge part as well, so that they can give a complete, so that somebody, when they go and present their analysis, it's a complete solution rather than just blatant numbers. And I always make sure that like the fun of the things that I tell my mentees is, with data less is more. So you have to focus on giving the very focused data that will make the maximum impact, so that people can go and work with your analysis rather than thinking about, there are these 10 different parameters. So this is going up 5%, this is going up 10, 20%, 30%. So numbers is painful for a lot of people. So they don't want to look at numbers. They want to hear the story. And it's very important for data, as a data scientist or analyst, you have good communication skill. You communicate the analysis more than just the numbers. Also, the focus is on improving the skill sets, both technical and soft skills. There are people who lack technical skill, but so I help them to make sure that they know machine learning well, Python well, SQL, whatever the job description is or what are the requirements for the jobs are. So I help them to at least have the basics covered. If they are not sure, confident about it. Also, as part of interviewing skills, I make sure that they have good soft skills. They come across very confident in the interview, and also make sure that they have good answers as well. Sometimes people have answers, but those answers are not what interviewers expect them to say. So it's also important to give very, very good answers, very positive answers during the interview. Also help my mentees to build project portfolios so that they can show that they are very confident about handling a project end to end, and they can present it during the interview in that, as if that's SAR format, situation, action, result. So as I told you earlier, that stories are much more important than just numbers or just question and answer. Once you give them your interviewer good amount of stories where you handle difficult, complex data projects, and you come up with good result recommendation which help the company to, let's say, increase sales or solve some problem or become more efficient. Those kind of things create impact, and helps helps the interviewer to make the quick decision to hire you. Also, in my role, I act as a success coach, because lot of mentees, like sometimes job market is not that great and they have to handle rejection. So making sure that they are always motivated, they are always very pumped up to apply no matter what the situation is. Also making sure that I identify the problem areas correctly, ask them to work on it and improve on it, so that whatever during interview just not becomes as they don't take rejection as personal, but it's an opportunity to learn and grow. So the long-term impact of the mentorship is a lot of my mentees have secure data science roles in different organizations, and they are also always in touch with me if they want to look for new jobs, or they want to let's say want to grow in their career, and they want to apply for, let's say, they want to talk to their manager about getting a raise or getting a promotion. So these are some of the common struggles that I saw or see in my mentees or people who are generally applying for data science jobs. Most of if you see a typical data science job posting, you will see that there are a lot of job requirements. They will ask you everything under the sun, right from Python, R, SQL, machine learning, data science, AI, everything. So most job postings are done by HR. They look at random 2-3 postings and they just combine everything, and it's a mess. But I always tell my mentees that don't focus, if you have at least 40-50% of the matching skills, apply, and try to make during the pre-interview time, try to get as much information from the company. They call you what are the specific requirements of the role, what kind of technologies they are working. So with that gives you more idea about what they're focusing on. So if there is some technology that you don't know, you can at least cover the basics by the time interview starts. So also having a competitive resume is also very important. Some people use a very generic resume across everywhere, and a lot of times ATS automatically rejects it. So it's very important to have the keywords in your resume from the job posting. So I make sure that my mentees know how to identify the keywords and have the resume tailored. And a lot of time, more like a lot of people who are trying to find job in data science, they face this imposter syndrome that um, they see somebody who is very technically qualified and they start comparing themselves with them, that I'm not like him, I lack this skill, that skill, 10 other things, so I'm not good at applying for data science jobs. So it's not like, especially for entry level jobs, a lot of times you can learn a lot of skills on the job. Like when I started my first role as a data analyst, uh, my job required to learn, like my job was actually a Power BI analyst. Like a lot of work was in Power BI. At that time, I hardly knew anything in Power BI, but I was able to convince my interviewer that like I have learned all this data science skill, like machine learning and everything. So this is one extra skill that I need to learn. And I have already some level of understanding of Tableau, and that I know Excel well. So it's just another thing that I need to learn. So I presented my stories, my stories of working with complex problems in my role as a BA, and in my education, different type of data science projects that I did. So that was able to convince the interviewer that okay, I'm good. So yeah, like, and within a couple of months, I was very good at Power BI. So it's not important that everything in the job description should match with your qualification. As long as you come across a very valuable person, or you can show the interview that you bring value, and this is just one extra skill that you need to learn, a lot of interviewer would be ready to hire you. And also a lot of people find they're not very good in technical interviews. So uh, it's I mean it's sometimes some jobs require you to have some specific set of skills. Uh, but yeah, like if some job, if new technology needs to be learned, I help them, my mentees, to learn that. And some again, HR interview also, a lot of people mess up because they are not ready with their answers. They think that they just need to be their original self and they can answer everything very honestly and they will get the job. But there are certain expectations from you during the interview, so it's very important to have well prepared answers even for HR interviews. And networking and outreach, a lot of people are not very good at LinkedIn, and they don't network much, they don't get much information in interviews, or they don't talk to the interviewers before interview or try to connect with them on LinkedIn. So these are like lost opportunities. So it's kind of, yeah, so I help my mentees to try to talk to interviewers during the during the background while they are interviewing this position. And one of my mentees actually landed a role because he was talking to the interview, like somebody from the interviewing panel, and he gave him his proof of work as well in an email. And so that really helped him to create an impact on the interviewer. And eventually he landed the job. Also, sometimes because the job market is not that great, people get very frustrated because the lack of responses or rejection. So yes, one of what I think probably the most important role of the mentor is to make sure that mentees are always motivated to keep applying, to find job, to never give up. So these are like a few of my success stories, and I can go briefly through how I got in, how I helped them and what was their background and eventually how they landed the job. So Mars was he did his bachelor's in engineering from no, master's in engineering from Canada, but then he was interested in data science, but he was not getting any opportunity. One thing I saw was his resume looked very bad, and then he was not applying to good good amount of properly, like he was randomly applying just on LinkedIn, not on other websites. So when I did a mock interview with him, and I got to know, like, as I said, like a lot of points that I highlighted were with, were coming from some of my mentees only. So his answers were not that great. I worked with him, made sure that his answers come across as great. He had good amount of stories that he could share in his interview, and eventually he landed a job. And same with Kay, she she did a bachelor's in uh, from Canada, but she had a background in physics. But eventually, she also managed to get a job with data as a data analyst. Uh, Although she did not have any kind of not very related work experience, but then I made her resume in a way so that it can show that she had some relevant skills, which eventually helped her to land the job. And Ming, again, no background at data science. In fact, he worked in totally different industry for 10 years, not even computers as well. But then I again modified his resume, worked with him, asked him to work on real world projects, uh, again, creating good stories, how end-to-end stories where he worked on complex projects and come up with good recommendation, which again helped him to land job. And finally, Rohan, again, he was working with Etihad. So, sorry, Emirates. And when he came to Canada, again, he did his master's in PI. But again, he was finding it tough to land a job in data science. But he got in touch with me, and when that opening in for PI analyst came in Air Canada, I helped him to create again good stories, preparing for interview, how to talk, how to network with people. He again reached out to people on LinkedIn and then in Air Canada, and then again he shared how he will bring value based on his background in Emirates, and what are how he is plans to solve some of the key challenges that are that Air Canada is facing. I mean, it was not a complete solution, but then just that proactiveness from him, to share this information, share this kind of PPT, again, to made them understand how much value he will be bringing. So yeah, eventually he landed this role. So a lot of people ask me that again, it's a very common question, how can I break into data science industry? So I would say the most important thing about anything, it's not just data science, it's across across all industries, is your mindset and persistence. People have worked as teachers all their life, and they don't know anything outside teaching, but still they enter data science and start working as a data scientist. Uh, it's because they had that mindset to learn, and they after facing a lot of rejections, still they persisted. So this is very important, and not once also not only finding the job, but then also in your work, or if you want to go professionally uh, in data science, you need to have a very strong mindset and be persistent with a problem. A lot of times you might feel this is hard and you give up, but uh, you have to make sure that you keep thinking of that problem and how you can attack the problem from um, different all sides. So once you get into that mindset, then only you will be able to succeed as a data scientist, because it's not a clear kind of job, right? In a bank, your daily tasks are kind of fixed. You do that, you come every day, do the same task every day, and go back. No, as a data scientist, you will be working on different set of problems. Probably like a month, the maximum time you would be working on one problem would be 1 month or two. But after that, you would move to another challenge and then another challenge. So you have to be very updated and thinking about problems very proactively all the time. And of course, like to clear the interview, it's very important to prepare very, very well. Focus on your weak areas, focus on the kind of questions they are asking, making sure you have very, very good answers when they interview you, and don't take rejections personally, but also make sure that it's a very good opportunity to prepare well for the next time. And again, networking is also very important, making sure that you try to reach out to people on LinkedIn, at least like when you are interviewing for a company, you have sent an application, try to contact people in that company. A lot of times when they might ignore you, but then again, this is a very important life lesson that let's say 1% people only get back to you, but even 1% counts. It would be a very good opportunity to learn from those people what they're working on, what kind of technologies they're working on, what kind of questions are asked in the interview. This will also like that. Once you cross that communication barrier, it would become very easy for you to interview with strange people, people who are completely new to you, because that a lot of people who are very technically sound, they have a not so good communication skills. So talking to random strangers help them to overcome that barrier. Of course, like building project portfolio is very important, making sure that you have very, very good projects to show, especially projects related to the industry that you're working. If you're working for a bank, if you want to interview for a bank, you have some finance kinds of projects, that is building some let's say stock picking, how to pick stocks based on machine learning, or how to find like credit, like how finding creditworthiness of people or the chance of default. Same thing with if you're working for CPG company. If you want to work for CPG company, then you have some CPG related product, retail industry related project. And of course, making sure that you work on your weaknesses, where making sure that as you get rejection, or always thinking about success, like always think about success rather than failures. So even if you come across failure, you think about how you can work on your weakness to eventually change it to success. So yeah, I'm done with my set of slides. So if you guys have any question, feel free to ask me. I'll try my best to respond.
Okay, thank you, Leno. I think we have some question from audience.
Right.
Like there are first questions. Actually, let me share my screen, and yeah, so there is first question is asking about like, could you please provide some insight into the current state of data scientist markets? So I do have a screenshot about a job script from the Indeed, and which is a recent posted like a data job on Indeed for both United States and Canada. So yeah, so for my respective, like they're still hiring, but I will leave this question to Leno to give us more insights. Yeah.
I think there are plenty of jobs in data science. It won't like as long as you have good amount of skills, you will find data science jobs. So it's not. It's kind of shifted probably a little downward since like last year, because last year I have seen people who didn't have even any data science skills. They got in data science job because there was so much requirement. But like if you have the right amount of skills, you understand data, you know how to tell good stories, you will find plenty of jobs. Like US and Canada always require like this. I always tell my mentees, right? There was one time when, let's say, people who knew Excel, they were getting all the jobs. Because Excel was a new thing at that time. Right? Everybody wanted their data to be in computers. So, but then what's the next step now? you get all the data, but now you need to analyze the data. There needs to be a person who needs, who should be focused on analyzing the data. So every company would require data analyst, data scientist eventually. So there are plenty of data science jobs, and it will continue to grow for sure. AI, like a lot of people are saying that AI might impact the job, but then as of now, at least for the next 2-3 years, I don't see that there would be much dip in of job opportunities for people who are in data.
Thank you. Okay, so are there any follow-up question to the data scientist market or other markets? If there's no more questions, we will move on to the next question. Okay, so we have another question from Abadu, and he's asking what's the difference between the data science and the data analysis. Yeah, I will also leave this one to Leno to answer this question.
So I would rather focus on job of a data analyst and a data scientist. Let's say data analyst is more focused on finding a business solution, right? Let's say somebody comes to me and I will have access to the data. I don't have to build any sort of model. Let's say basically it's a model. It's just that I will see the data and I will come up with recommendation. I will understand the problem and I will say the data is saying all these things, and let's say I will build a Power BI tool to say let's say our sales increased by 10% or 15%, or these are the segments that are not doing well. So this is kind of a data analysis that a person does. So that is kind of a data analyst role, and a data scientist would rather focus on building models. Like he's more focused on, let's say, predictive analytics, like what is going to happen. So he's going to find data which will tell, let's say, who is going to default on a loan, or who is how much we are going to sell next year, or based on, he's going to build that model which will kind of predict what is going to happen in future. So you can say that, so like data analyst is more of not prescriptive, but like he's kind of explaining the data, but data scientists would rather focus on predicting what's going to happen in future. And one another role is, of course, data engineering, which is more focused on building the data pipeline, and like he's going to build everything from scratch. Let's say, right? Even let's say all the numbers that are coming in, somebody needs to build that, right? So that is kind of data engineering. So I would say a data analyst is more like he should be it's a mix of everything. Basically, he needs to learn a bit of programming. He needs to learn a bit of maths and science, and he also needs to learn about the domain, like the industry he's in. So that let's say 3 Venn diagrams where they combine is where a good data analyst is good.
Okay, thank you, Leno. So we have another questions, and I think there's a follow-up questions. Do you need to how much more difficult is to find a job in this industry without a bachelor degree?
With what?
Without a bachelor's degree.
I don't have a degree in data science, right? I had a diploma, but then it didn't really help me. Like I knew basics, but then it was whatever I learned was not asked in an interview. I would say, like, even all my mentees who are qualified, a lot of them never had a background in data science. It eventually, at the end of the day, is how you perform in an interview. If you have good interviewing skills, if you have good, if you can show a good project portfolio, you can show that you had worked on complex problem, and you have the right mindset. You can analyze things critically. That shows that you can become a good data analyst. It's not, I have seen people who did everything boot camp or they learned everything online. They got very, very good data science jobs. I think even culture, like I think a lot of companies in US are moving away from that culture that you have all these degrees, then only you can apply. That they are moving away from it. They just say these are the skills that we need. You have these skills, you apply, come to the interview, give all the correct answers, get the job. That's pretty much every company is following. Having bachelor's degree is important, but a lot of times, like people, they do go to college, they go to universities or college and get degrees, but they don't learn much. So it is really important that, or they, even if they pass exam, they just pass it, they mark up and pass. So good, like as I said, like skills are much more important than having a degree. So if you have the right knowledge, no matter where it came from, online, you read a book, you went to a boot camp, and anything, as long as you have the right set of skill, you will get a job.
Okay, thank you, Leno. Yeah, like I have some I agree, like for most of the case, when you come to the interview, I will say the experience is more important compared with your education background. So there are some questions actually is relevant to this thing, like how to create a data scientist portfolios. That's one question. Another question is if I've done several projects as part of a master degree, should I say it's a part of that, or just leave that out and frame it like a personal project? I think I can answer that two questions. First of all, how to create a data scientist portfolio projects. Let me go down actually to this slides. So first of all, on a resume, you probably want to put your personal contact information and the skills. And also you do need to put on the relevant experience and also the projects and education. Okay, so the key thing in the resume will be the relevant experience. For the data scientist portfolios, and if it's relevant to the not relevant to the work experience, it's your personal habits or some project you done with a Kaggle, it will consider that's the personal projects. So it should be not relevant to the work experience. Same as the project you complete during the master degree is still considered as the portfolio projects. And because none of them are really experienced. First of all, for the really work experience, you have to have first of all, what's the business problem? What kind of like you have to, first of all, you have to do the research, understand the business background, provide the solutions, and test that solution during this project, which you're probably not able to fund it in the portfolio projects, which is the data is most of them is public data, and there's no evaluations on how your performance it is. You don't have feedback directly from projects or project managers. So that's probably the portfolio projects. So that's very important for you to get some relevant experience, which our BIM data, we do have, again, the real-time projects to fill up this gap. And another very important thing is that for our mentors, if they want to help you to polish your resume, if you don't have relevant experience, it will be very challenging because just you're not only looking for the job, like there are lots of candidates searching for the job, and if you don't have relevant experience, it definitely puts you on a not good position, right? So relevant experience is very important. And then they were looking to the educations. The reason is that there are just too many use cases or too many domain knowledge required by the different industry or different projects. It may, even though you are very experienced on the particular area, but the company looking for a different specialized on, for example, there are two machine learning models. One focuses on the forecasting, another focus on the recommender system. If the company looking for someone can do very good on the forecasting, but your domain knowledge on the recommender system, you may not able to get this job, right? So because there are very too many requirements by different company, and which is impossible for everyone to be good at everything. So that's why it's very important for us to know we have to be very specialized on the particular one or two industry and use that knowledge to apply for the job. Okay, so I hope this answers the question. And I do have another question, and also it's a very common question. And should we also focus on the solving legal problem? So in that, I will leave to Leno to answer these questions.
Sorry, I didn't hear like what lead code, what?
So should they, if they're looking for the prepare for the interview, will they focus on spend time on solving legal or hacker rank like a coding test?
It depends again, like which company you're interviewing. So it's a very tech focused company, definitely. Let's say Facebook and Google, they would have multiple rounds of interview where you have like you are judged on your technical skills, and having that lead code experience, it definitely helps. But if again, like if you are, it's not a very tech focused company. Again, it's like a company that, let's say, CPG, construction, retail, or some smaller company, their focus is not very much on your technical skills, but a mix of both technical and soft skills. So it depends. Like again, like if you are like aiming for a FANG kind of company, definitely solving lead code problems is very, very important. But otherwise, like smaller companies, they just try to see like what kind of value you're bringing. Do you know how to solve problems? Yeah. But of course, like even if you're aiming for smaller companies, lead code, having that lead code experience definitely helps, like thinking critically, analyzing problems. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Okay, great. So I have another questions from another audience, and it's asking, what's the relevance of technical skills for career in the data fields? Some example like a cloud, Kubernetes, Python, Airflow, etc. I think that question is too general. Yeah, so
I would say it depends again. Like all again, like Kubernetes, AWS is very like like these words are thrown around a lot, but a lot of companies are still not using it. I would say try to focus on job description, and I think there like a lot of companies, like if you boil it down to like top 3-4 things to learn, it's very easy. So not very easy, but try to focus on that and learn that. Otherwise, again, it gets overwhelming, right? There's so much, like there's so much information everywhere. You can't learn everything, right? Again, I would say if a company asks for that, try to focus on basics of that technology. Unless like they are very serious about Kubernetes or any other technology, then you have to dig deeper. But then I would say even if you have some basic level of understanding how things work, or like why Kubernetes is important, how it's applied, how all these basic. If you cover even basics, I would say like if you have like 5 to 10 minutes of content to speak in a general interview, you could survive the interview. But otherwise, if you focus on learning everything, it will become overwhelming and you won't be able to apply to a lot of positions. Interviewing again is I have felt it's more of a soft skill rather than technical, unless you're very focused on a very tech focused company. A lot of these companies, they want people who are very who will fit into the culture, and they usually look at people who are confident, who can solve problem, who even if they don't know, let's say Kubernetes or what the other technology, but again, it's another technical skill that they need to learn. And if they feel that this person has that learning ability, he is focused, he has shown that learning attitude, is it's just one another thing to learn. Because somehow I have seen in a lot of at least in Canadian companies, they because these technical skills are learnable, but the, let's say, soft skills, like that inbuilt nature of a person, it's very hard to change. So if you can show that you have the right attitude, right mindset, companies will hire you. But then also they will see that you ready to learn new things? Are you able to adapt? Once they see that this is another technology, like this Kubernetes is not the end of the world. There's let's say 5 years down the line, they would feel something better that would come out. Then you would need to ditch this, learn new thing, learn new technology. So again, your ability to adapt, learn new things is much more important than you just know one particular technology. Again, even if you're very good at that, after some time it will become irrelevant, right? Then you have to learn something new.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
That answer.
Yeah, thanks. Okay. Any other follow-up questions? And if you know more, we will continue with the next questions. And also we do have some message from Abdul. And he said, like, in my data analytics course from Google on Coursera, I'm learning almost everything, so it was hard to understand the role. And thank you for the answer. Helps keep me motivated to continue job search. Giving it more thought, I think I need to take advantage more of networking on platform like this, and making it to showcase my skill outside of degree and diplomas. And we have another questions. What are the relevant skills to jump to a managerial position in data?
So about the project portfolio, I would say one thing, very easy to start is try to focus on already, for people who already have posted their projects on GitHub, you can take it, modify it, but make sure that you're understanding, everything from start to end, how they are using Python or what are the machine learning steps that they followed. Why is this step important? Once you understand it, you can sort of make it your own, but also try to come up with your own solution that, if you are given this problem, how will you solve this problem and how differently you will solve. That will kind of build that perspective, how you solve unique problems. Again, that is very important if you want to grow in your career. And as for the skills that are important for to become a manager in data science, my role is more of an individual contributor, but people expect me to handle everything end to end. People don't tell me what, they will come up with a problem and they'll just give it to me. They don't handhold me and say, oh, do this, do that, do this. They just expect me to finish everything. So yeah, like, and of course, like a lot of thing about being a manager is being very proactive about finding problems, right? You don't wait all the time that somebody will come up to me and tell me that you have to do this, then only you do. If you see some problem that needs to be fixed, if you see some steps, some automation that can happen, or some problem that if you apply data science, it will make somebody's life easier, then you go proactively tell those people and start working on it, or you pitch your idea, and then so that proactiveness part is much more important. And of course, making sure that you handle everything end to end. And there are interns reporting to me, so I also handle them. So again, like at the end of the day, I felt like most of like one of the things that helped me to land this role was definitely luck, but a lot of preparation, that how to answer questions in data science, what they are expecting from me, how can I show that I bring what kind of value to them, and how I solve the challenges that they are facing, understanding their company culture, understanding the kind of problems that they are facing, and how I can help them. Again, at the end of the day, if you can show that you are bringing right kind of value, no matter what position it is, then you will be able to land the job.
Okay, thank you. And we have another questions. How can you get a relevant experience for a potential job? We study job market and which require experience and being new, like since he is being new to the field. And also another audience that I myself will be researching projects where I can apply skills I have learned in world like in real world scenario. Great question. Okay, I think I can answer this part. In the most of the time, if you really want to get a relevant experience or work experience, I will say I strongly for everyone to join our real climate projects, and because that's most like available or most thing can find on the market, and which means like you can get some experience, and we have very widely options for different students or different peoples. We have like a big company from like United States and Canada, and some of them is we have a client like Samsung, governments, different regions, and financial industry. So the project's availability is very wildly, and you can choose the best one you like, and you can use that to put on your resume and to get interview, right? So I believe it's very important for you to learn, but it's also very important for you to have very competitive resume or relevant experience. Otherwise, what you learn is kind of people like as HR, if you are very knowledge but you don't have relevant experience, they definitely not gonna give you a interview chance. That's the reality. But if you have someone refer you, you can ignore that. Like reference or referral is very important. You can skip if you don't have skip, but in terms of the final decision making, you still have to mention what kind of real world experience you have. Otherwise, people don't want to take a risk for someone have no background, no knowledge to complete this, to fill up this role. Especially, you do require lots of communication skills and the documentation, which you're not able to learn during the let's say like different courses, and that's the only thing you can get from the real experience, like soft skills. Yeah, so if you want to land a
I
job,
wanted to add that, like, even in my case, the reference from my mentor helped me a lot, I feel, because as he said, like, I didn't have the exact relevant skill, but then because my mentor was my reference for this job, for the job I was applying for, I got an edge. And definitely, like, if you get, very standardized project, and if you get good mentorship, who can explain you from end to end how this project, what was the, what was the problem statement, why the project is getting, people are working on this project, and what is the end result or recommendation of this project. So having somebody to guide you always helps. And I feel that WeCloud has a lot of people who are very experienced in this field, and they would, and again, like, what I learned after 6 months of researching the job market on my own and trying to work something on my own, I've kind of got very, I think I got a shortcut because I met right people at the right time. Or like not right time, but then even later in my life, even after 6 months, I probably met the right people. That's why I landed the job. Because even after completing my course of data, data diploma in data science, a lot of my batchmates didn't even land job even after like 1 or 2 years because they didn't have the right guidance or right mentorship. Uh, so having right people who been there, done that, kind of helps to reduce the amount of time. You go 10 different places, try 100 different things, and then eventually feel frustrated and lose motivation. So it's very important that you have somebody who can kind of become an anchor and help you to guide you in the right direction.
Thank you. I have a follow-up questions. I have heard that data scientist isn't the typical considered an entry-level job role. Can you conclude that entering data scientist at an entry-level position is challenging. Would it be advisable to begin the role in the data analytics or business intelligence instead? Yeah, I think that's a really good question. Yeah, I think let me go to this slide to. I think I have a perfect graph to show you the difference between the data scientist, business intelligence, and data engineer. There are different focus. Yeah. So what I'm gonna recommend is first of all, as data scientists, you will learn data analysis. But the difference will be business intelligence or data analytics will more focus on the create a dashboard using the Tableau or Power BI, and which data scientists using the visualization on the Python library. And so it really depends on your personal interest. If you like to if you like to more focus on building machine learning models, you could be you better go to the data scientist. But if you prefer to become more give the insight about the data to the storytelling, business intelligence is better for you. But I will say you don't have to start with data analysis and our data scientists. The best practice is we have data scientist bootcamp, and this bootcamp, and you can choose the career path by business intelligence, data analysis, data scientist, or data engineer. So you can choose this career path. You don't really lock down to the particular role. So based on different factors, based on your personal interest, also could be it depends like how the interview goes, and you can make your decision. So what I'm gonna recommend is if you are plan to become data scientist in the future, it's better for you to take a data scientist course, and this give you more flexibilities. And the business intelligence, you will the different thing the different thing is that you will create lots of dashboard, and also you will use a more SQL data scientist. Sometimes you will more works on the Python, or then you will use SQL, right? So there will be slightly different on the programming library, like a language like a use. Yeah. Another thing I want to mention is I think, and also I want to share another slides. So I think maybe it's something like most people may not realize, even for the data scientists, and they are actually different. Sorry, let me share my screen. So there are different types of data scientists. So there will be operational data scientists. So you are using SQL visualization, like a machine learning, and the more focus on this, like a business communication, and also Python as well. So that's what we consider as a junior data scientist. And this all more focused on the data analytics side. What we're gonna say, and you may need to build a lot of machine learning model. You may not, depends on the role or the requirements. And also you could be a machine learning researcher, so you will more focus on the algorithm development or like algorithm implementation. So which all says if you like coding or if you like Python a lot, you can create a very very specialized model. Like the most popular example is a ChatGPT. It's kind of like a machine learning model focused on the natural language processing, right? So that's another focus, more focus on the research, and the potential they could be very popular in the future. And also it could be a machine learning engineer. I will say that's more senior compared with operational. And you will create a machine learning model pipeline. And so you are using the cloud platform a lot, focus on the automations and the implementations, and you maybe have to handle different model at same times. And also the last one will be the product owner, and which is a product manager as well. So you will own this data, so you will give the strategy, correct strategies, and you own this project, and you will more data-driven product design, and you also focus on the project management. Yeah, so that's the difference between the different types. Most of people always begin with operational data scientist, like a junior data scientist, data scientist analytics, depends on the position, but in terms of what you are doing, it could be very similar. They just have to give different names. Okay, I hope this is clear. Let me just go back to this. Yeah, I do see some audience just joined this events, and let me share the link. So if you join the link, and just let you know, our recording will be available on the YouTube, and I will share the link in the chat. And what you miss is we just give you a brief introduction from Leno to tell you like what he helped our student to land the job, and what he offered, and some experience sharing, and also questions. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave in the chat, and we will answer that for you. Okay. I do have another questions. I'm in a process of putting together a portfolio currently. I'm focusing on a specific personal interest, so that I'm more motivated in completing them. It's going slowly because I'm starting everything from scratch, but they are novel in terms of breaking into that analytics, that scientist field at an entry-level position. Would you all say that it's more attractive to companies or hiring managers to demonstration grips on all the basic of our attempts to stand out with the most novel projects? Thank you. Yeah, I think personal interest can be very it's actually is very good for the practice wise. So you can consider that as a personal portfolio project. Because most of the time, if you go to the LinkedIn or if you go to the Indeed, you do the search for the title, and it will show you what they require, right? So and first of all, they normally don't give you much details. They will generally tell you like what kind of model they are working on, and then like if you had to prepare for the interview, and the challenge is if you are for your personal interest, as again you miss some key concept, like what's the like business like need, like what's the objective, what's the goal of this project, and also the very end, like what's the result, either like if that's a machine learning model, either like a better model compared with previous, or there is like a new implementations, anything. You need some evaluations. You can conclude like what you're able to complete. So which personal interest you may not able to provide that value storytelling during the interview. So it's very necessary for you to get some real world experience, and also try to get some interviews and get feelings like what kind of questions they're gonna ask you. And sometimes if you're feeling you're not gonna get this job offer, you can ask like what kind of suggest they can provide. Not most of the case they will provide very honest feedback. The reason is every time you go to interview, they want you to become the right candidates, but sometimes if you unfortunately you don't have enough experience, or if you're not able to pass interview, and they will still will be give you some feedback. Yeah, but still if you want, again, so you can join our client projects, which give you lots of hands-on, and also you will learn lots of skill, not only technical of the you're also gonna learn like lots of soft skills, how to communicate with others, how to documentations, and also our mentor, based on your work experience, can give you some advice on our resume, and polish your resume, and you can get more interviews. Any other
I would
question?
say it is important to work on projects that are relevant to companies. Because I know people who worked on their own novel ideas, but it looks good. But let's say if you're very interested in sports and you want to analyze like basketball, like data science and analytics and like which shots are really good, which areas are really great to take shot. But if you I mean, it's a very good project to do, but then unless you are applying to, let's say, like a NBA franchisee, or like or somebody who is in the sports journalist kind of role, these skills won't be like really relevant to, let's say, a pharma company or a company in retail. So having relevant projects becomes very important, because let's say the interviewer who has worked all his life in retail and he has no interest in basketball, then even though you are very passionate about your novel idea, he might not see any value in that project. So again, like unless you see there is a clear audience for that kind of project, and it is up, and a lot of industries would be happy to get sort of these kind of insights from your project, then it might be helpful. Otherwise, wasting a lot of time or something very new which is not applicable widely might be just a waste of time. Or if you start focus working on projects that are already, let's say WeCloud provides, these projects are very general, and a lot of companies want to hear something that are applicable widely rather than to a very narrow audience.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I think let me just quick go through, I think best example. Let's go through some example of job search on LinkedIn. For example, if you go to LinkedIn, I think LinkedIn still is the best place for you to apply for the job. And first of all, like if you search data scientist, like United States, or data analysis or data engineering based on your like position or role you're looking for, and you can look into their job description. It's the most straightforward way for you to understand what kind of skills they need. For example, in this role, so it's a just a quick read. So let me skip some responsibilities, like which is not really tell you too much about your technical skills, right? So this is all about soft skills, like what kind of relevant experience you have, like all the communication skills, and in this way, like in the first line, you can see. Sorry, let me just make it bigger, increase the readabilities. So it's ask you to creating a production level data scientist project with clients. So communication will be required. Understand the business need, research, etc. is very necessary. And exploring and analyzing the diverse data sets and the machine learning application across various industry, right? So this is more for the technical side. So you have to know how to do the visualizations, how to you require domain knowledge, how to build a machine learning model. That's what you learn, which you should be very capable with, and also assisting user in mastering our platform through training sessions, office hour, and the continuous consultative support. So this part is not really a traditional data scientist role. Is more like a customer service, so consultant, which means you will expect to handle directly contact with a client, understand their need, which is exactly our real client project offer, because our under that role is you will write down is your title is a data scientist consultant, so you will have to do a lot of communications between the customer, and also offering data scientist expertise to both client and our internal teams. Also communication. So you can say like on the job description, something you may not realize is they do require lots of real world experience, even though you may have lots of knowledge on how to using Python machine learning, but the person they're looking for, they tell you very straightforward, like you have to know lots of communications, understand how to solve the problem. And back to the technical, how much technical thing you need to know. I will say it's you don't really need to know everything. Again, so you have to be very specialized on one or two, and then that will be good enough, right? So then you do require lots of like problem solving skills, like how to, especially most thing you will understand in the real world problem is you don't need to do everything perfectly. Like you don't need to do the best of the best models or codings. The goal is you have to complete everything on time. You have to use your time wisely, like time measurements, all the documentation is very key for you to complete the project. It's not really like I would say like technical is only the first part of the journey, and the relevant experience of how to handle this problem is the key for you to become a good data scientist, right? So, which is I think it's too important for you to pass interview as well, because you want to tell lots of story in that like 2 hours or 3 hours. It's impossible for them to understand how good you are, but based on what you can explain or what's your experience have to complete this project, and they will determine if you will be the best fit. You may be not the best knowledge one, or you may be not the best on the coding, but if you're able to solve the problem, for example, for the company or for the project, for example, you have really good communication and you have lots of experience, you will be the good fit. Okay. And also, again, so different job titles, they have different requirements. And if you want to become any positions, and it will be impossible for you to be perfect 100% fit for all these titles, all requirements. So that's why it's very important for you to pick an industry or pick a area you want to develop your knowledge and become very specialized on that one or two project. So that's why real world experience help you to like narrow down the focus, right? So because the projects will be have like everything have a goal, right? So you don't need to spend too much time to different like models or different like industry, and you can just focus on the one or two like project and make sure you complete the end. Okay, I think that's just another examples for the importance of the experience, and also yeah, so there will be lots of information hiding behind this job description, which our mentor are very experienced like a person like a Leno who can explain like what you should prepare and what they expect you to like what's the best technique or what kind of like a person they're looking for, and these like our mentor gonna save you tons of time to guessing or prepare for the interview. Okay, so sorry, I have another questions. Oh, sorry, let me share my screen. So I have another question. Should the projects be kept up to date? Say if I done a lot of projects last year, should I do more projects this year? And so that it shows my consistency. Yeah, so I think it's really
I would
depends
say,
on
I would say focus on projects that are relevant to the company you are applying. If you are applying for a, let's say, retail company, let's say Walmart, so any projects that are related to, you know, let's say inventory or supply supply chain or logistics, or managing inventory in a store, or sales. These kind of projects would be relevant to Walmart. So similarly for whatever, I think again, like, it should be focused on the company that you're applying for, right? If you are working, if you are applying for Walmart, again, like a project that you did, let's say analyzing that basketball, some data science in basketball, some statistics, how different places are important, which locations are the best for shooting and all those things, might not be as relevant to Walmart, right? So try to focus on areas that are important for the company you are applying to, so it's easier for them to understand what you are saying, right? If you say terms or words that they don't regularly hear, they won't be able to associate with your stories, right? So let's say in my first interview, I gave them examples of, or stories that were related to gaming, how data science is applicable in gaming and how it is being used, and it's not exactly a project, but then I sort of touched upon a case study where data science was using games. So they were able to connect with my story, right? Because of some level of commonality in the background. But again, like, try to make sure that you share some common ground with the company that you're applying for. Then only they would be able to associate with your story, and you become a good candidate for them. Oh, this guy knows about industry, so we don't need to teach him everything from scratch. Same thing with one of my mentees, right? He came from Emirates, so he had that airline industry background. So he spoke to his interviews in Canada about airline industry, how he did, his background in airline is, what kind of KPIs are important there, what kind of things shows that they are constantly improving their efficiency, improving the cost optimizing, and then what kind of data they need to look at to make sure that the company is making profits and is doing well in different performance indexes. So again, try to find that common ground, then only your projects better relevant. Don't think that I have to do X number of projects, then only it I will be successful. I mean, do it so that you learn new things, but make sure that when you go to an interview, speak to them in a way that they can understand. Again, data is not everybody's cup of tea. A lot of people actually hate looking at numbers. So it's the onus is on you to make sure that you make your interviewers' life easy. You tell them uh, a story that they would like to listen, they can easily understand, so that they know, wow, this is a person who is breaking down such difficult concepts in such a easy and digestible way for a you know for a data hater like me. So again, you have to make sure that, like, you become a good candidate by by showing them that you can go to their level, even though so many different things, like high level, like machine learning and all those things. But you can, if the situation arises, you can come down to this level and talk to them in a language that they can understand.
Thank you.
Yeah, Adam, if you want to add something, please go on.
Yeah, I think you explained perfectly. Yeah. Okay. Yes, agree. Okay. So I think we have another question. I think it's a really hard question, like what a good topic to do projects that you would recommend, like cover wide range of fields. I mean, I think maybe like which machine learning model. I think that's maybe the correct way. Yeah.
I would say try to focus on, like, if you like an industry, let's say banking or retail, or try to have some, or at least, or if you're working in some industry, let's say you are already working in bank, and if you want a data science role in a bank, in you know within your organization, so it would be much easier if you show them some banking related project or finance related project that you did. Or if you want to work in retail, then try to show that project. Don't try to focus on, I don't think there is a general project that everyone can associate. But I would say, like, since everybody goes to like Walmart and retail, so one industry is retail, which is very common to everyone. But like if you have been working in one industry, try to do some projects related to that, which will show that that you're working in, let's say I'm working CPG. So if I in my interview I showed them projects that I related to CPG. So that kind of told them that I have some background. Same thing, I also associated my background in consulting, where I helped one of my CPG clients to solve their issues. So again, as I told earlier, like try to speak to them in their language. Again, if you show them already that this is what you want, and I'm bringing that plus something extra, so that will help. That will make their choice so much easier, right? This is what I want, is what I'm getting plus something extra, versus I want something, but he's giving me all these extra things, although I don't want it. But then, you know, let's say of all the candidates, probably this is the best candidate. Then again, there are a lot of buts come when then only you will get selected, versus you make that life of interviewers life easier by saying this is what you want, this is I'm giving you everything that you want. Then you are the perfect candidate, right?
Thank you. Yeah, just go to the I just go to the LinkedIn. I think the best one is still go to LinkedIn and looking for for the company. Like I think Walmart is offer very good salary. Is 150,000 per year, and by senior. I believe they also offer junior positions, and you can looking for the job descriptions. But again, I think forecasting is also going to be very popular. Recommender systems like popular, NLP also well popular. Believe or not, like lots of big companies, they are using the traditional algorithm. They don't use like a newest, like a cutting edge, like a technique. Uh, like what you learn actually for our bootcamp student, like what you will learn is what we good enough for you to land a job. Uh, yes, because we more focus on the applied learning. But still,
You already
like
see the job description, right?
yeah,
Like for supply chain, logistics. Again, if you are applying to Walmart, these kind of projects in this area, I think it was slightly somewhere down. Yeah, at the end. So can you come down? Yeah, like network transportation optimization. So if you have done projects related to that, automatically you are a very good candidate, right? They know, so you have plenty of stuff to discuss during the interview right away. That I worked on this inventory management project. This is what I did. This was the problem. These were the steps that I took, and this was my recommendation. And what, based on my recommendation, I think processor will become this much more efficient. So right away you have plenty of stuff to speak, and this is already the interview would, because he has worked in this space for so long, he would connect with you much more easily versus somebody who shares, let's say a banking project about, let's say credit or some finance related project. It might not be easy for that. I mean, I'm not saying he won't totally connect it, because I mean he's in data science, he would know, but then that won't create that auto that ease of communication that you will get with projects related to inventory, transportation, logistics, network, right?
yes, great. Okay. Yes, just when I have so still is very important for you to build your network. Uh, yeah, since most of the time, like if you are uh have connections, you can ask referral because our we have like a referral from our side, and also your network also gonna be very important to help you to get more interviews. I think I also have another questions. So the question is it easier to find the remote jobs? I had some poor experience finding work in my hometown. Yeah, so I think you are definitely not gonna limit yourself by the regions, and you can just try to. I think that's Bobby's strategy to apply for the job, and you just want to apply as many as possible. Don't limit by the range. Don't limit by the like on-site, remote, or hybrid. Hybrid. Yeah. So your focus is a get interview and get job offer, and you can decide if that's the like if it's not like hybrid or hybrid or on-site, like it's not what you want, you can reject later. But first of all, you want to test your resume, test your uh like interview and see how that goes. And once you get job offer, then you can make decision if you want to accept or you want to reject. It's all by your decision. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Okay. Any other questions? I think we have lots of good questions being asked today, and it's lots of them is very important and for everyone who looking for the job. But still, in terms of like a prepare for the interview or during the interview, there will be lots of work you need to do because you do want to stand out from like all the all the all the candidates. And also another thing I want to mention, and in the process of the interview, you normally will be receive a phone call to verify if you are available, still looking for that job. And if you are still available, you will have appointment for the technical interview. I think it really depends on the size of company or the way they like to do. So they normally give you technical questions. It could be like a live interview coding sessions, or could be take-home interviews based on the title or position you apply for. It could be just SQL Python questions, or could be a machine learning, like building a machine learning model or visualizations. And if you pass the technical interview, you will move to the behavioral questions. Sometimes some company have like a like 3 round or 4 round interviews, and the interview could be take like up to like 3 hours, depends on the size of company, and so I would say it's very time consuming. So yeah, so if you do receive lots of interview opportunities, then you should narrow down to focus on like a few of them, right? So if you cannot attend all the interviews, it's better for you to select the interview you want to go through. Okay. Also, in the end of the process, the most case, if on your resume, if you have relevant experience, and the most case they will ask you to provide reference check. And for the reference check, you have if you join the WeCloud project, and our project manager will provide very positive feedback for the reference check, and this way they are verify what you on resume match match what you actually do, right? So it's very important to keep in mind in the end of the interview, you still have to get a reference from your previous or current company. And it's also that's the last step of the interview. Uh, any other questions? Okay, so if there's no more questions, thank you, Leno, to join us. And it's a wonderful time. Like we learned lots of things from Leno, and lots of experience and lots of answer being addressed. And again, thank you for joining these sections, and we are very enjoying. And if you have more questions, and you can always contact with me, and I will share my LinkedIn. So if you have any questions, like I can address it in the future. And if you are interested to join any of the client projects or programs, you can also contact with me, and we'll let our advisor reach out to you. We will do the event like almost every week. We have different events. So for the next event, we have alumni successful stories, and our alumni will share how they land a job by going to the bootcamp, support from our mentor, and also some lots of insight to share with you. For now, I'm feeling like lots of audience are already in the role and already complete the study and in the role to for the job search or job hunting. I think again, so very important for you to know, you have to put the experience on your resume. You can test it out. If you don't receive any interview, it probably not relevant to your technique. It's relevant on your resume, the quality of your resume. If your resume can give you interview opportunities, right? So that's first thing. Second thing, if you go to interview, but you find you have very hard challenge to pass interview, which means you do need our mentor or someone to let you know how to pass interview. Because you're not gonna receive interview every day. You have to make sure you are take the best chances to pass any interview. If you miss the interview, you don't know if you get more interview in the future, right? So make sure you are fully ready and get some expert like our mentor to give you some good suggestion. For the recording of this section, we will post on the YouTube, and I will share the link. Yeah, so again, so no more question, and I think that's the end of the day. Again, thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Leno, to share the insight of the how to apply for the job. I think it's definitely help our audience understand what's the best practice way to go to the interview and how to land a job.
Right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.